Alright, so here I have it, thermodynamic formulas to note. So when a question asks you, don't forget this academic daddy, subscribe, like and share. So when a question asks you what is the work done by a gas, in this case you have pressure and volume. So this is the formula: minus pressure times change in volume. That's our formula. Now when it asks you change in internal energy of a system, internal energy is represented as U or E. So change in internal energy, always remember that first law of thermodynamics states that heat absorbed or released is equals to, when it has to do with on the system, that when you're talking about internal energy of the system, that everything is it can be created, can be destroyed, but can be transferred from one form to the other, so that U plus W is inside the system when you absorb. So that means making U, which is internal energy, subject formula, change in internal energy. That means you will now have that this is going to be change in internal energy. Is going to be subtract these coefficients of this from both sides, so that you have Q minus W. This is our formula for change in internal energy. This is our formula. Now, how much heat is absorbed during a temperature or phase change? When you say when you see a question, in this kind of question, they normally give things like mass. You see the question talk about the mass of objects was done this to, and it has a temperature change or a phase change of from this to like this, 20 degrees C to 22 degrees C, or 22 degrees C to 20, whichever one they are talking about. Just know that this kind of question, to calculate heat absorbed, Q, is going to be M cats. This means mass, specific heat capacity, change in temperature. This is the formula you use for any question that asks you to find heat absorbed and you have temperature there during a phase change. Now, enthalpy change of the reaction. When a question finish and that question asks you enthalpy change of reaction, if the question asks you enthalpy change of reaction, it depends on what you are given. If you are given mass in that question, and that question gives you something we call heat of fission, the question provides heat of fission. They tell you that maybe heat of fission is minus 2220 kilojoules per mole, whatever it is. They give you this and they give you this. Once you look at that kind of question, the formula to use is mass times change in heat of fission. Some will give you heat of formation. Or if the question give you mole and still give you this, the formula you use is mole then times heat of fission. Use this. In some cases, they can give you molar mass or questions that involve that, so you can actually do mass over molar mass times heat of fission. So these are formulas to make use of when you see they tell you about change in the enthalpy change of the reaction. These are formulas to make use of. But if they did not give you mole, did not give you mass, or did not give you heat of fission, and you see enthalpy change, in this case you make use of, in this case, if they did not give you any of this mass, mole, heat of fission or heat of formation, they did not give you this, you will not make use of this formula. In that kind of case, they will give you an equation. So what you make use of is sum of heats in the product minus sum of heats in the reactants. This is the formula you make use of in that kind of case for enthalpy. So now, when a question asks you for find enthalpy of combustion, when a question asks you find enthalpy of combustion, find the enthalpy of combustion, the formula you make use of for enthalpy of combustion is simply to know that enthalpy means heat, combustion means burning. When you are burning, this heat is changing. So heat change is the same thing as saying enthalpy change. The formula you make use of to find enthalpy of combustion is simply the same formula, which is enthalpy heat of the products, or enthalpy of sum of enthalpy on the products minus sum of enthalpy on the reactants. So there you have it. There you have it. So these are the 5 formulas you need to know. There are so many other formulas you should know, but I think this one, most of the questions center around this.